I went and Googled Goodwill, and is it a charity? Is it a nonprofit? Is it a business?
Yes.
All of those?
All of those. We are a non-for-profit organization. We're run like a business. We have to be. In order to provide the mission, we have to be very effective in our business operations. We operate, as you mentioned, over 40 locations across the state. We take gently used goods that are donated to us.
Gently used.
And we turn those into opportunities for individuals to get training, education, and jobs.
That is exactly what the founder did in Boston in 1902.
Yes. Dr. Helms saw the need and the opportunity to provide opportunities for individuals. And so what he did was, it was the power of work. It wasn't a hand out, it was a hand up. And so we work at not giving people anything other than the opportunity to make the most of their life and to do what they need to do. So when you donate, you're really helping change lives.
Yes. You're not just giving somebody a shirt.
No.
You're giving somebody education.
Yes, a chance.
A chance. So I read where Reverend Helm originally started in Boston, Massachusetts. He was a Methodist preacher.
Yes.
And he took used clothes, and he had unemployed women, maybe men too, I don't know, come and sew and repair these clothes.
Yes. And furniture.
Oh, and furniture.
And then sold that to pay them for the work they were doing.
That's exactly what you're doing today.
It is. It's very close to what we're doing. What people don't understand is, first of all, 96% of our revenue comes from the sale of donated goods. And the goods that are donated in Arkansas are sold, and the money stays in Arkansas. So they go to help people in Arkansas change their life.
And though they're not mending clothes, they're cleaning them up, they're prepping them, they're putting them out for sale, they're pricing them, they're hanging them on racks.
Yes.
They're retailing them,
which
is a different way of doing it a little bit, but
Yes.
It's basically the same thing.
We have 1,000 employees almost in the state of Arkansas. So I had the opportunity to come in as the chief operating officer, joined the organization in 2013, and as a chief operating officer. And it was really, we're a very well-run organization. We are one of the Goodwills that is doing it right. And we always have, we went through a great, tremendous growth. And that was because when our previous CEO got here, we only had a couple of stores.
You're talking about in Arkansas.
In Arkansas, here in Arkansas. And so the ground was fertile. So we ended up opening a number of stores in the state. I took the helm in November, officially in November of 2017 as the president and CEO. And we're focused not as much on opening new stores as improving our operations. So we're doing Lean Sigma. We're doing Kaizen events.
You're doing what?
Kaizen events.
What was the one you said right before that?
Lean Sigma. So that
I don't
is,
know what either one of those are.
That is going in and continuous improvement.
Lean
Sigma.
Sigma.
It's Six Sigma, which is data-based. So we're trying to improve things by measuring and ensuring that we're improving. So we do Kaizen, which is a Japanese word for change for good. And it is done in the Toyota production system. So Toyota really made a lot of inroads in this with John Deming back in, I think it was the 70s, early 70s, and that's when Toyota changed from being a very poorly made, very cheap, very high
affordable,
maintenance,
but
high
affordable,
but affordable,
inexpensive,
to a high quality. So it's improvement. So we're actually doing that now in our back rooms, in our process centers, so that we can be more efficient.
So you're not trying to grow. You're trying to improve.
We're growing, but we're growing deliberately, and we're very measured. We analyze demographics. We ensure that we can get the donations that will make a store profitable and make it successful, so that we can then take those profits and turn them into mission. So all the money we make goes to pay for our employees and then for our mission. The delivery of the mission is so important. So people think nonprofits, they think that it's charity. It's not charity. It's a business operated to deliver to a social need. So that's what we do.
How'd you find out about this job opening in Arkansas?
Actually knew the gentleman who is the CEO, and from a prior, when we lived in Maryland. And so the opportunity came up to come here as the chief operating officer. came in, worked with them for 4.5 years, had the opportunity after he left the organization to be the interim CEO, then was appointed by the board as the president and CEO, and that was in November of 2017.
You had to take a cut in pay to come here.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you do that?
Because I know what Goodwill does.
You were just at that place in your life?
Yes, you do. I made a lot of people a lot of money as shareholders for Black & Decker and Essilor and other companies. Mm-hmm. This is a lot of intrinsic. It is very fulfilling. We had a graduation Saturday of our Excel Center, our adult high school. We had 18 adults cross the stage as graduates with their high school diploma, not a GED, but a high school diploma issued by the state of Arkansas. These are people whose dream, they dared to dream that they could be a high school graduate.
From ages of what?
From ages of our students are ages 19 to 64. So the opportunity, we changed the law, so the Excel Center.
Okay.
In 2015, we worked with legislators to change the law to allow adults in Arkansas to be educated, to gain their high school diploma.
There was a law that would keep you from that?
Yes. At 19, you aged out of the public school system.
I had no idea.
Yes.
And so you could only get a GED.
You could only get it. That was the only option, was a GED, before 2017 when we opened the school. So in 2015, we changed the law. And then we went about waiting for the rules and regulations to be built. And then we applied. So we are and I know it's a terrible thing, we're a charter school, but we are the only public charter in the state of Arkansas that gets no public funding at this time. So we operate this school solely on the money earned from selling your donations.
And you do more with the donations than sell them in your gift shop. I remember hearing you talk about what you do with some of the stuff you can't sell.
We try and ensure that we minimize our waste stream, and that means that we want everything to go to, we want to be a good steward of the donation. So when a donation comes to us, we want to squeeze everything we can out of it. So if we can't sell it in the store, then we turn around and work to sell it in our outlets. We have 2 outlets, one in Rogers and one here on Scott Hamilton
I thought you had
in Little
40
Rock.
shows.
We do, but we only have 2 outlets. We have 45 locations in the state.
Those are more like drop-off locations and work locations.
Drop-off, worker, and retail stores.
Do they train there? Where do we? And then train.
And then we have career centers in our newer stores. So our newer footprint stores, our larger stores, have a career center where we work with individuals to try and help them gain skills and employment. So we work with them on writing resumes and interview skills and how to fill out a application online. What's
the first thing you do when somebody comes to you and says, I need help?
Find out where they are. We have to meet them where they are. So first, what help do you need? Why do you need that help? What other underlying things are keeping you from being able to achieve your dream? And then we work with them to take those down.
All right, let's talk about our house. It is the premier homeless shelter in probably Arkansas.
And here's what's so cool. It's not just a shelter anymore. And I really want to say that while our roots were in being a place where the homeless could come for housing, we've grown over the years to now we are so much more than just shelter. Now we're a place where on any given day, 500 people come to us. And interestingly, only a quarter of those people actually live in our shelter or our housing programs. The rest of them are folks in the community who say, I want to come to our house because I'm on the brink of becoming homeless, and they can help me get stabilized, get all of the services I need to stay out of the shelter system. We call those people near homeless. So these days what we're all about is moving upstream and just really helping people avoid homelessness by providing free programs for their kids. We have an amazing early learning center for homeless and near homeless children. We have an out of school time program that serves 90 kids every day after school, all summer long, 10 hours a day, 10 weeks of the summer. And then we have a career center, and the career center is open to all of the homeless in our community, those who are willing and able to work. That's really the heart of our house, folks who are willing and able to work. people who are in our homeless prevention program, which is called the Central Arkansas Family Stability Institute, and then just people from the community who say, you know what, I'm down here, in the South on Main area, I'm on Roosevelt Road, I'm in South End. They can come out and get services from us to help them not only get a job, but be really successful in that job.
So I've been to your new facility. You have jumped way on down in my interview, so we're going to jump all the way down.
Jump on down,
Harry. You just got a brand new facility.
Yeah.
And it is all about education.
That's right. So
I think that's what you're talking about right now.
Absolutely. So within the last 3 years, we have, because of the community support, been able to invest $6 million in educating people who are currently homeless, formerly homeless, and those who just want to become empowered to sustain themselves and their children, their own families, and never become homeless.
Because once you become homeless, it's hard to get out of that cycle.
Right.
So you're stopping them before that ever happens.
Absolutely.
And when I went to that facility, so $6 million you spent over the last 3 years.
On 2 buildings, that's right.
On 2 buildings. And when I went to that facility, there is a daycare.
An early learning center, right?
Do your children go there?
They do. My 3 babies go there. And let me tell you, if it's okay, let me tell you a little bit about that. Because I don't want anyone listening to think that, my kids just happen to go there because I work there. I had to put my kids on a waiting list because here we have this child development center for 65 kids, and the majority of slots are for people who are homeless or near homeless. But then we've got about a third of those slots that are open to the community, including staff members like me. And we have to pay. We pay full price. And I know that my children are getting the best education. My 3-year-old daughter is in a pre-K classroom where she has a teacher who is absolutely incredible. She is learning French, and she's having those experiences. Yeah. No, it's true. I know. Now I know Lulu is apparently the wolf. So she's learning French, and she's learning right next to a little girl who's her best friend who lives in the shelter. What an experience. And I know that that because I'm paying for her to be there, that's helping make that possible for these kids who live in the shelter or who are near homeless to go for free.
So if you the 2/3 of the group there, of the children there, have homeless parents or their parents live in the shelter, or both?
Homeless or near homeless. So, we have this program where...
And they qualify for that.
Yeah, they qualify. So for a year, we work with families to help them avoid homelessness. What that looks like, Kerry, if I can just paint this picture for you.
Yes, please.
These are people who, just like so many of us, have 2 or 3 kids. Maybe, one is in childcare, maybe working 2 jobs, lost one of those jobs, can't pay utilities, and so now is living in a home, stable, but without utilities. And then winter comes around, and the fact that they're without utilities is no longer an option for mom and her 3 kids. And so she calls the shelter and says, you know what, I really can't live here without utilities. I have 1 job, but I really can't work 2 jobs. I don't have childcare. This is the best I can do. And instead of saying, okay, we'll come into our shelter with your 3 children, we say, come on down and let us help you improve your financial management. Let us work with you to get your utilities turned back on. Let us provide early learning programming for your youngest child. Let's get those older kids into an after-school program so you don't have to come home from work at 2:30 to pick up your 7-year-old. We really work with all of the elements of that family situation so that they become stable, their utilities are turned back on, they don't lose their home, they don't get evicted, they never become homeless.
That is 5 critical things that a single mother has to deal with. Leaving work to pick up their children.
Right.
And there goes your income. What was the other one? You said financial
management.
That's a big one. I just don't even know why we don't teach that in school.
Right.
I don't know why we don't teach financial management and paying your taxes. And because a lot of young people get in trouble with taxes and then are burdened with back taxes and with compounded penalties and interest.
Right.
And they're in trouble.
Absolutely.
In their mid-20s. And then what was the other one? Your utilities are turned off.
Utilities.
So you can't take showers.
Right.
And you don't look presentable.
Right. There's no heat. Your kids are not safe in the evening because you're lighting candles to try to, have light. I mean, there are all kinds of dangers that come from the experience of poverty.
So if somebody's in trouble and living on the edge and is just about to fall off of the edge, how do they even know to find you?
They call us. They say
word of mouth.
They say to their friend, and I was talking to a woman literally this morning who said, I recommended our house to so many of my friends, and she's never lived there. She's never been homeless. This is a mother with 2 children, a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. The person who told her about our house was her colleague at work, and she was struggling. She had 2 jobs. Her sister passed away. That was a support to her. She was really struggling. She had to quit one of those jobs, and that was it. Just quitting that one job, being down to 1 job rather than 2, put her on the brink of homelessness. But her colleague at work said, why don't you call our house? And she got hooked up with our case management, with our homeless prevention program.
And so you have case managers that are assigned to them.
Right.
And that's how you qualify whether they're trying to take advantage of the system or whether they're really in need.
You know what? No one shows up at the doorsteps of a shelter and says, help me, if they're trying to take advantage of the system.
Isn't that interesting?
That's just true.
To know?
You know what? That's true. I cannot think of a single person who showed up trying to take advantage. And maybe part of that is because of the approach of our house. We are all about working hard and working your way out of this situation. So there's no handouts. We we don't pay people's rent. When we say come and we will help stabilize you, there's no part where we say, and here's a check for your rent and utilities.
That was what I was going to ask you. Did you write her a check for those utilities?
No, that's not what we do. No, what we do is we say, let's work with you because you are empowered with a little bit of support to solve this problem on your own. And we have these amazing, incredibly bright, incredibly hardworking people who come to us every single day, 500 people a day, who
you
lift
have 500
themselves,
people that work for our house?
who come to our house.
Oh,
yeah.
come to
We have
our
about 80 people on our team, believe it or not. It's a big organization these days.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, your mission statement is, our house empowers homeless and near homeless families and individuals to succeed in the workforce, in school, and in life through hard work, wise decision making, and active participation in the community. I think wise decision making sometimes is not taught from generation to generation.
Right. Right. And, you know, one thing that we always talk about as a team is that this is not our mission statement just as it applies to our adult clients. We think about this with every one of our clients. We take what we call the 2-generation approach, which means that when we think about how do we empower people to make wise decisions, we are having those conversations in our 4-year-old pre-K classroom. How do we get 4-year-olds to make wise decisions? And how do we get 14-year-olds over next door in our after-school program to make wise decisions? And how do we get their 40-year-old parents to make wise decisions, right?
How do you do that?
Well, you know, so one of the things that we do in our early learning center is natural consequences. You know, you
Yeah, duh.
You know, you don't want to eat your lunch and you get mad and you throw it out. Well, now you don't have lunch. You know, I mean, just teaching, okay, make a wise decision. You're 4 years old. To a 14-year-old, a wise decision is you're going to spend this time on your homework right now, and that's going to allow you to go do the enrichment programming that happens afterwards. And if you know.
That's parenting.
What? That's parenting.
That's parenting.
But we also do that for our 40-year-olds. Right.
Because their parents didn't parent them and say there's consequences. You can't just eat all day long. You have to eat at specific times. You have to do homework at specific times.
Right. So, you know, in our shelter, there's 68 rules. And here's
68
rules. And here's a natural consequence. You violate a rule, you get written up, just like at work. You're told what you did wrong and how to improve it. And you do that 4 times, and you know what the natural consequence is? You don't get to live at our house anymore. You're evicted. That bed opens up. You know, we are a shelter.
You break the rule 4 times. You break one of the 68 rules 4 times.
Any of those rules 4 times. 4 write-ups, you're out.
Gosh,
4 write-ups in a month.
Management skills are good. See, Tim, you're in trouble. I'm going to start 4 write-ups and you're out.
Oh, no.
If you liked this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the picture of Kerry's face in the center of the screen. For more of Kerry's interviews, click either video on the right of the screen. And as always, thank you for watching.